Close your blinds and light a candle with me. I'm Gesh86 and I welcome you to 3rdEye. Last time we had a sample of death, the first hit was free. We also bashed a bottle into Renko's face and are now in the final phase of sending the travelers home. The two are tagging along with us through the different areas, and speaking to them each time provides hints on where the boundary could be. We are not in a rush to determine its true location. It's better to gather as much intelligence as we can before we make any decision. Koishi seems sure it's here, but I think she does that wherever we pick. No, we don't have any decisive evidence that it would be this out of all places. Oh, the bamboo forest still has more tape scattered about it. Le Secret Labo. Is it a French song? The language of love. I think it was a multilingual mix of Japanese and French. What an exotic combination. I couldn't understand the words, but it sounded more pleasant than the last couple of cassettes. After all, those held only silence, screams, and wheezing. Renko pointed us towards our camp. Completely disregarding her, yielded our 7th tape, Genesis. Awesome! Wait, is it from the Peter Gabriel or Phil Collins era? This wasn't what you'd hear from a progressive rock band after all. It was a theme that would fit well into an official Touhou title, particularly a spin-off fighter, in my opinion. North is that way. North doesn't always have to be up in a video game. That, of course, can complicate things. I have a feeling the true boundary would be at a place where neither Maribel nor Renko are present. Otherwise it would be too obvious, wouldn't it? It's starting to get ridiculous with those tapes. This one has probably the most convoluted title yet, B Village E Prefecture. I can only imagine what that was supposed to be. My guess is a satanic ceremony. I wonder if the date July 10th, 1968 was a reference to any bigger event. It wasn't the first crewed moon landing, that happened a year later. Maybe the cassette was just meant to put us at unease. Let us not allow it to succeed with that. Maribel has been carefully doubting Koishi's popularity before. In this conversation, she is a lot less subtle about it, almost sounding passive-aggressive. That's unexpected. Compared to Renko, I had viewed her as the more supportive one so far. The Mobius loop, by the way, means that the map wraps around. There are no dead ends. Going too far into one direction makes you come out the other side. Well, I guess that is what a loop is, isn't it? I believe the whole area is 4x4 screens, and I don't think we've been to each and every one of the 16 yet. Could it be this one? On second thought, no. I expect there should be something about the right location that gives the boundary away. Nothing too on the nose though. The bamboo in the background doesn't always look identical. Should we concentrate on such things, or should we rather listen to the many hints we've gotten? It's a difficult conundrum, and anyone would be shy to finally designate a spot. It turns out though that we didn't have to. Once you investigate the correct place, it automatically gets picked. What a deception! The only mistake you can make is to be too impatient and try to move on before you've truly checked everywhere. Maribel and Renko are promptly called over and get ready to judge whether Koishi is actually right about her assumption. It would be most embarrassing at this point if she wasn't. Our protagonist's resolve does not waver. She is certain it's here and pushes our new friends, almost family, to confirm. Renko belittles us one more time and justly earns 2 glares for that. I think we have done it. The Ceiling Club could technically leave for their own world or dimension. I wonder, could we join them? If not, I hope they can at least stay a little longer. Oh, they can't. They have to leave immediately. Koishi clings to Renko's leg as a response. That's both heartwarming and bittersweet. It indeed seems like this is goodbye. Of course, Koishi is eager to know when they'll come back to her world for a visit. From this slew of questions, it can't be early enough. Sometime translates to if you can live a long time. What an insensitive way to put it. Maribel, you can do better, right? That is not possible. No, she's even more direct about it. It's an absolute stab to the heart. I don't think the Ceiling Club can come back willingly, and with a slip through the invisible portal, they're gone. Forever, most likely. We have lost the new family we were starting to become a part of. And with that, we have no choice but to scout the forest all on our own. To the north is nothing of interest. Neither is there to the northwest. Is the Mobius loop still active perchance? That would be a monumental problem, and one we have nobody to aid us with. It seems the game has done a time skip for us to show Koishi has got nowhere. The little yokai drops to her knees and bursts into tears. Have we made some mistake? Did we pick the wrong paths? Or was it incorrect to choose the right boundary? It would have been selfish to hang on to our friends, but at least we wouldn't find ourselves in this predicament now. Koishi resumes pacing around on her own until her name is called in a warped voice. Oh no, we completely forgot about the killer in the forest. Quick, Koishi, you must run! Run, girl! We are caught and entangled in red string. Satori? How did she survive the push? Without lasting damages too, it seems. I hope this time works out. We just saw the exact same cutscene that the game began with. We're also in that most familiar asylum cell again, yet we have the inventory from before we fled into the bamboo forest, including Flandre's treasure decoration. The cell has an extremely familiar layout. Bed, nightstand, diary, and crayons are all where they used to be. It's a good idea to keep a diary, and good parenting if a mother encourages her child to do so. A big spider! We don't want to collect that. Yamame might get angry at us. And of course, sneaky Kokoro was spying on us again. I'm starting to fear the whole game might be a Mobius loop. We'll know for certain once we arrive at episode 100. Until then, we can only press onward. The drawing of John's cat house hasn't been cleaned off the cushioned walls during our absence. And here's another piece of good news. The third eye works again. We were able to tell from the big eye symbol in the lower right. The lights in the corridor have been switched off. It would be the perfect conditions for someone like Kokoro to attack us. Maybe our masked adversary was the killer of the bamboo forest and the one who chased us off that cliff. And here's proof that Satori really shouldn't have lauded those cookies. Assuming Koishi wrote this, she has gotten far too obsessed with baking, and I bet they still taste as atrocious as back then. This is unexpected now. The corridor has become completely surreal. Are those gashes in the walls and floorboards? I can see some stitches and twine, and it looks like we're gazing into a blood stream. That axe seems to be the one item that always follows us around. Having our third eye back means that we have to continue nourishing it. Only one bottle is left. I hope we'll find replacements somewhere. Ooh, what did we walk in on here? The desired eye drops too, but what I meant are these torsos of Koishi and Satori. They're sitting in flower pots and growing into misshapen trees, one blue, one red. My first thought at this site is that someone is raising doppelgangers of the Komejis, hoping to replace the originals. Invasion of the Body Snatchers. The room to the right is pitch black and doesn't seem to have a light switch. Because of that, we can pretend it holds no terrors. The dark room also didn't help us at all. Maybe up the staircase is where we're supposed to be heading. The upper floor of the building is in no better shape. Wounds are everywhere. Moving forward, we then discover the largest one yet. I'm really getting the impression our mansion has turned into a massive organism. If so, aren't we inside its body? Is the house eating, digesting us at this very moment perhaps? We can only hope for Koishi that is not the case. Oh, we found an animal. Or wait, I think it's a sort of hybrid. The face is of a bird, but it wears a nightgown and has humanoid legs. Are you sentient? It doesn't seem to speak any language we know. I hope it's at least not hostile. Come to think of it, this is a shoebill, right? Among avians, it has somewhat become a meme for its sheer weirdness. Scanning it with a third eye allows us to understand what it's saying. The following note confirms its species. Didn't Satori own a shoebill as a pet? I think it debuted in a manga, but I know for sure I've seen it in other fan games. It always stared accusingly at you in those. Back downstairs awaits another cuddly companion. Some sort of rodent, maybe a weasel or ferret. Have we indeed run into Satori's petting zoo? Our sister has always preferred interacting with animals to people. The prejudice and dishonesty in their thoughts disgust her too much. Can we pick up this ladder? That is also a recurring item. We used it once to reach a toy helicopter. Studying it really upset said rodent, so much so that Koishi does not dare to pocket it. We've gone over to the beast to find out what's wrong. Our first attempt is fruitless, but we already know how to translate this fellow. Or at least we thought we did. The issue is that this creature likes to make meaningless noise. It's starting to get on Koishi's nerves, who I imagine is already quite stressed. Finally, the fuzzball starts talking. Upon the mention of our name, it references nominalization. Just like your name, rolling around. Koishi can mean little stone in Japanese. Then we learn it's actually an otter. Could it be the otter spirit from Touhou 17? Well, it's definitely not wishy-washy in how it acts. Upon trying to pick up the ladder with our third eye activated, we learn what gets the otter so furious. Satori has forbidden Koishi to take said item. We saw that our dear sister might not actually be dead, but does Koishi know? She might at least have some sort of hunch, because the otter threatens to tell on us, and it actually works. We cannot get this ladder at the moment. Perhaps we can do something about that annoying beast, or simply help Koishi grow some backbone. The building extends another story, and further upstairs we find the next pet of Satori, a hedgehog. Were it blue and had an attitude, we could call it Sonic. But no, it comes across as fairly ordinary, apart from being bipedal. Once again, we need to switch to our special vision in order to communicate with the spiky fellow. Unlike the grumpy shoebill and the obnoxious otter, the hedgehog is shy and passive to the point that it's meek. Since Koishi also isn't exactly the epitome of confidence, the conversation between the two turns out a little awkward. The note that it nonetheless awards explains why this beast would be so anxious. Hedgehogs are kind of at the mercy of humans, and especially yokai. Their quills can hardly hurt you or me. Oh, a blackbird with a green ribbon and a red amulet. I think this one is important. Seeing it triggers a flashback again to the tree we almost hung Cherno at. By chance, Koishi finds a little caged bird there. Suspecting an act of animal cruelty, she would like to free it from its prison. However, John is also here, and from his body language, I expect he'll be the Sylvester to this Tweety. It would be smart to separate those two first, before Koishi does anything rash. If that raven outside of the flashback is who I think it is, we'll better approach it another time with renewed vigor. I'm Gesh, and I will see you again soon. If you are brave enough, that is.